Hey girl,
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's funny because like now with recording this video, we are in the new year. So it feels really
Yes.
cool that, we were able to celebrate the holidays. So whenever we recorded the last two episodes, we did it before the holidays. So it was like a nice like little break. And so now we're back.
Yeah.
And so we feel so excited and like ready to see what the Lord has like in store for us. So we wanted to make like this video kind of like a little recap of our 2025, make it fun, make it casual, just for us to be able to like chit chat and, kind of like remember what the Lord did for us in 2025 and what we would like to expect, what we like to do, maybe talk a little bit of like how we have been preparing for 2026 and what we do to kind of like, I guess you can say like how are we planning to execute, what we have in our minds, and of course how we align our plans with God's will. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you want to start or if you want me to start to kind of like, maybe we can talk about what was like your favorite memory when it comes to like, or your favorite event, your favorite time, spiritually, when it comes maybe to an event or something personal to you. I don't know if you want to start us off, Crystal, or you want me to go first.
You can go first.
Okay. um well, for sure, I feel like the one that I would say my number one is my brother's baptism. It
Mm.
was something that for us is like literally a miracle, something that we did not expect whatsoever. And for it to come from him without anybody having to tell him or to push him, where it was God, the one that gave him that revelation, for us, it has been such a privilege being able to witness that, to be able to go and like support him. And of course, like now that he's baptized, like it's not easy, his life, it hasn't gotten like any better, but what
Yeah.
has changed and what has gotten better is that the Lord is with him, that the Lord has
Mm.
given him that coverage from head to toe, and his
Yeah.
name is, written in the book of life. That's what has changed. And he has been seeing that. And I kind of want to say this. I'm pretty sure he's okay with me saying this, but we were able to go to Dallas. So I saw Crystal over that, little vacation. So I drove there for the Christmas week and I got to see my brother, and we were talking, and he just said that one of his friends, like, she doesn't go to church, like, obviously like his friend group are not like Christians or people that go to the church. And so he told me that the girl or his friend just randomly said like, she was like, for some reason it feels like you're gonna be a pastor.
Oh wow.
And so yeah, and so he was like, because she said it's because the way that you talk, you're so like expressive, and like you just kind of have like this way of like you're passionate, like she just said it. She
Yeah.
was like, and I was like, she said that, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, that is so random, because I feel like you would hear that maybe someone from me, someone from within the church, but a friend
Yeah.
in his friend group that doesn't go to church, she just randomly says, she could have said anything, she could have said maybe like any career, a secular
Yeah.
career, but she said, I think you're gonna be a pastor. And so
Mhm.
I was just like, that is just another confirmation for what the Lord has in store for my brother. And I just wanted to say that, so that's why like that takes like my number one spot, being able to see God, having a hold of him, and that 2025 for us like was our number one thing for that year. And then obviously my move to Tennessee is, I
Yeah.
would say, like the second thing of like this major shift that the Lord did. And there was so many like obstacles and so many attacks from the enemy of trying to take our joy from doing this walk of faith, you know what I mean? So that's why like for us, I feel so blessed of living here in Memphis, my new church, my new friends, my new like congregation, like everything has been so beautiful, everything has been so amazing, and I just feel privileged to where God has put me. And of course being with my family has been like such a big blessing. So I would say like that's something that kind of like, I would say 2025 was just like a year of like God, starting with his blessings. And for me, it would be those three things of like, you know, my brother's baptism, moving to Memphis, and then
Yeah.
seeing how God has been with us throughout this whole entire journey. So that would
Yeah.
be mine. How about
That's
yours?
good. That's so good. I feel like the fact that your brother's baptized, like that's already like we literally talked about this like
Yeah.
so many episodes ago, and then this year, last year's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But 2025 was the year where God reached him, and that's amazing. I
Amen.
feel like for me, I really enjoyed like filming with a whole bunch of different people this year.
Oh,
It was
yes.
it was a blessing. It was good. It was full what's the word? Like we were poured into, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what word I'm looking for. um but it was a blessing to have all those people on the podcast, and even like the transition from where the podcast was to like how much we expanded was a lot, cuz like not only did we have guests this year, but we also switched to virtual, and that in
Mm-hmm.
itself has been a whole journey.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it's funny that I say that because literally right before this I was having camera trouble, and I feel like that's why my brain is all over the place right now. But even the fact that like we're able to have all of this equipment working and everything is such a blessing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even for me, because I've said it before, but I don't know much tech, but we have
Mm-hmm.
people and we have a whole system and it works, and that in itself is a huge accomplishment and it's a huge
Mm-hmm.
blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Other
Yeah,
than that
definitely.
though, also this year was really hard. I feel like it was filled with blessings and a lot of growth, but this year God kind of showed me that like all the things that we put importance to really don't matter. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Mm-hmm.
he kind of showed me that all this physical stuff, like, yeah, it may be great, but it's like you don't gain anything if you have that.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of like the opposite of you, because you're like excited, like all these blessings. But I feel like for me, it was just a very like sanctification process type thing, and just showing me that like I don't matter. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's
Mm-hmm.
all up for a bigger purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard, and it is
Mm-hmm.
hard. But I've I've grown so much. Like in this year, I've grown more than I have. I mean, we always grow, you know, but this specific year, it's just been, I don't even know, like wow, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Mm-hmm.
also been hard because like I've had a lot of thoughts of like the past. So it's like I'm growing, but I'm like being attacked. So it's like not it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel very blessed that like these big things overshadow, all of like the trials that I had to go through last year. I feel like last year was like, yeah, like I feel blessed with, I didn't really have really hard things. I would just say it was just like a lot of like, mind mental things, I guess you can say, or
Mhm.
like attacks in my mindset. For instance, just like I mentioned, whenever we moved, the enemy, threw so much at us, so we can, like, how can I say it, so we can not see the beauty of this transition. Like he was trying to make it harder than what it is, trying to put doubt, trying to tell God like this isn't what I expected, but at the end of the day, like he has everything in control and it's not what I expect, is what God needs me to be. So I feel very blessed that, God gave me that reassurance that everything that's happening, is for a purpose, and whatever the enemy tries to throw at me, just rebuke it. You know what I mean? Because he's trying to corrupt, he's trying to make me see, I guess, the bad aspect. Because if I'm being honest with you, like whenever I went to Dallas for Christmas, I kind of like I was like, I think I told you guys, it felt weird having to go to a different state to go back home, and for some reason I kind of missed it. And then I get back here, and like I get involved with my church, and then I see my family again. Then I'm like, oh, okay, like you just feel kind of like that reassurance of like, okay, like I'm happy again, I feel joyful. So there's still always like those little like spiritual attacks in my mind. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would say also getting sick was, going to the ER as well was something that I did not expect for my
Yeah.
year. So that was also like a pretty bad moment because it was like really, really painful. Like I felt,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously I shouldn't feel shy with my family, but my aunt had to see me cry of pain, you know what I mean? And just they had
Yeah.
just had to see me in my worst moment, and I feel a little embarrassed and I feel a little shy because that's just who I am. I'm a very like shy person, but I just feel
Yeah.
happy that her first response was praying over me. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
literally in the kitchen just bawling of telling them I'm just in so much pain right now, and what she did was just like pray over me. So that was pretty that was really beautiful, when it came
Yeah.
to that. But in my time in Dallas, obviously I moved in September. So before that, just like you said, it was really cool being able to have season 3. I really enjoyed having each guest, and I still
Mm-hmm.
appreciate each guest, for sharing their testimony. It was so fun. I feel like we built new
Yeah.
friendships, built new connections. You guys got to see testimonies that maybe you guys related with, maybe it encouraged you, maybe gave you hope, and made you see that God is with you in your process. And so it was really cool being able to have those connections and being able to hear those testimonies, because I feel like it united us in a different way. And so it was a really fun year in that aspect. And yeah, like personally, since I already knew that I was going to move, in my personal time, it was just like tying the knots in Dallas, when it came to my local church in Dallas, trying to, you know, help other people so they can learn how to do specific things, learning how to detach myself. So it was like a lot of, that, and then having to tell my family and having to get them to understand, since they're not spiritual. It's kind of hard, even for someone that is spiritual. It could be kind of hard to understand whenever God gives us these I guess you can say how can I say, big moves, or
Yeah.
he tells us like these things to do. So it could be a little bit hard for people to comprehend. So I would say it was like a year of a lot of transition, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of like trusting God, giving
Yeah.
it to him. And so yeah, that was pretty cool. But I kind of want to
Yeah.
like change a little bit and want to ask you, is there like a fun memory that you had of last year that you can kind of think of in the top of your mind?
It was fun having Cassie at camp because Cassie,
Oh
this my friend Cassie,
yes.
this was her
Mhm.
year,
Mhm.
the year that she came to Christ. So it has
Yes.
been a blessing to like have her in church with me. But yeah, having Cassie at camp was fun. Like seeing her
Yes.
experience everything um was just like it fulfilled my heart.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys got to see her testimony, or got to hear her testimony.
Yeah.
She was one of our guests. I believe she was like episode 6 or 7, but just in case if you didn't hear it, you can go check it out. She has an
Yeah.
amazing testimony, and it's true. Like I feel like it's really beautiful to see like her growth, her love for God. She was able to receive the Holy Spirit. So that's a really
Yeah.
good one. I love that. Let me see for me. What's like a fun memory? I'm trying to think of like a fun memory. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know.
There's no way
um,
you come at me with this
I
question and
know.
then you don't
I'm trying to think. A fun memory. I would say, I would say now with like my local church here in Memphis, there has been like a lot of like fun like things that has been going on, and I don't know, just kind of like being surrounded with like my new friends and stuff like that. There's not
Yeah.
really like a specific thing, and I'm pretty sure once we finish with this video, I'm gonna have like the perfect
That's
answer.
what I'm thinking
And
too.
yeah, but right now I can't think. I think it's just like I'm having fun with like being able to make those new friendships,
Yeah.
being able to connect. I mean, I guess it's coming up maybe like the Christmas party that I went to. I was able to go with my to youth. So like I mentioned, we go to the Spanish service, so we were able to go to the young adults with the English church, I guess you can say,
Yeah.
or the English youth. And
Ministry.
so we were able to kind of like just goof around. We did a white elephant, and like the gifts were like so goofy. Like I won a bowling ball. I don't know if I mentioned that. But it came with the Chick-fil-A car, so
Oh,
that's why I stole the bowling ball.
that's
And
funny.
yeah, like we were just kind of like joking around, and it was really cool being able to see everybody like interact. And then my
Yeah.
two friends, like they're learning English, so it was really cool that they were kind of like getting out of their comfort zone to be able to speak, and everybody was just having a good time. So I would say that was like one of those moments. And yeah, like I like pretty much all the events that I have gone has been like pretty like fun moments in that
Yeah.
aspect. And of course, just like I mentioned, like filming each episode was definitely a fun time with like each guest. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like I feel like we keep talking about like the end of the year stuff because we don't
Yeah,
really remember what all happened. Because
that's
I was
true.
thinking,
Like,
yeah, because a lot of things happened this year. Like,
yeah,
you were
yeah.
literally in Texas. We went
Mm-hmm.
to NYA. We went
Oh,
to
yes.
camp. You know, but I feel like when you first asked me anything, I couldn't think. All I thought about was all the trials.
Yeah.
but but a lot happened. I also feel like our end of the year it was a testimony night. It was really fun, and we did like little awards, and we had a silly slipper contest or
Oh,
exchange. I keep
yes.
saying
Mm-hmm.
contest, but it's a silly slipper exchange, and that was really fun too. But I feel like there's more. I don't know why my brain is just only at the end. But
Yeah.
it's crazy because I feel like this year flew by, but all the
Yeah.
memories were like, whoa, that was a long time ago. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's so true. Like I can't think what I did in January, what I did in
Same.
February. I mean, now I have a memory of March because that's whenever NY it happened. So it was pretty cool because it was our first time of me and Crystal serving
Yeah.
together for district. So we were able to, yeah, I remember we went to go pick up Eunice from the
Yeah.
airport like at 2 in the morning, and we were just
Dude.
saying our testimonies to each other that night. I think we were even crying too. And it was just like a lot of like shenanigans, but also it was
Yeah.
a cool time being able to receive, like, NYA is such an amazing event, and I see that for this year is
Mhm.
going to be in April for Texas.
Yeah.
I
You
don't think I
coming
will
or
be able
what?
to make it, but
But why not?
maybe I'm speaking too soon, but we'll
Yeah.
see what
Get
happens.
that non-faith out of here. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I understand.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
but
I
yeah.
would.
Wait, go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I will reveal why maybe like a month from now. It will
Oh,
make sense. Yeah.
okay. I
But
guess.
go ahead and go.
No, it was really cool to pick up Sister Eunice.
Yeah.
I was so excited to to put her on La La Land, and then the drinks that we got were literally not good. I was so upset because we were
Yes.
hyping these drinks up. I was hyping the drinks up, and then the ones we got they were
Not
not
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. But we
But
also got to
hey,
meet Sister Dacia.
oh yes. Yeah. We did. It was so cool because you had her, or you and your church had her for a conference, and the conference was so good. Like
Yeah.
everything that she touched on, it was so cool being able to hear a testimony of a first generation apostolic as well, and being able to like be like, whoa, someone with that growth and like that, spiritual authority that she has to come from a first generation um testimony, or a family that didn't grow up in Christ. So that was pretty cool. And then literally the next day, we had her on. So it was really cool that she took the time of like, everybody, we were all tired. Because it was an hour drive, because from Decatur to Fort Worth, and like me, Dallas, going to those two cities. But it was really powerful.
It was such a blessing. Even now, like when I go, like when we did the rerun, and I was making clips, I was like, wow. Like it was still like hitting all those weeks later. But she's such a powerful speaker. It was honestly that was such a blessing for me to meet her.
Mm-hmm.
She just the way that she poured into us and spoke to us, and I was like, wow, like what a
Yeah.
powerful speaker.
Yeah. Do you guys have that in your YouTube channel? Did you guys live streamed it?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I'll have to
Mm-hmm.
check. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. We'll check and we'll put it in the description area.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can see it there. But yeah, that was a pretty cool
And then Rise
moment.
Up too. Rise Up was such a
Yeah.
success.
Mm-hmm.
And even I got to, like this year I got to serve on the local board. I've never done that before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still thinking about my year.
Let's see. Okay. What about April? Do you remember anything that happened in April
Girl,
or
there's
May?
no way you're asking April or no.
I mean, May was my birthday.
Yes.
So I was able to celebrate my 27th birthday. I got my dad, his birthday's on the 28th and I'm in the 29th, so we both kind of combined like a little get together birthday party with like my family on his side. So it was really cool being able to celebrate his 50th, you know. So it was really nice being able to have that little celebration. But something that did happen in May as well. It was the month that I got laid off from my job. So it's whenever I transitioned from having a job to having no job. So it was at the time it felt like a confirmation from God because I was already going to put in my 2-week notice like around August or maybe a little bit earlier than August because, you know, for my move to Tennessee. So whenever that happened, I think my mom got like a really like hardcore like we need to move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like it just felt from God. But obviously, you know, when you lose your job, financial hardships come and, you know, being uncomfortable and all that. But the good thing about that is it led me to start being a walker. So I remember during that whole time that I was in Dallas, I walked every single day. It was a really nice thing. So if I'm being honest with you guys, I haven't done it here because I miss my park in Dallas. Like it's not the same. Like it's kind of crazy that that's an excuse and you guys would be like, come on. Like I mean, even the park here is prettier than the one that I used to go in Dallas, but it just felt like, I don't know, like my own personal space over there. I don't know how to explain it, but me and my mom, we are planning to get back on of, you know, executing of just moving our bodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're committing to moving our bodies and just, you know, being healthy and taking care of ourselves. That's like our goal. But yeah, I don't know what was my point with that.
No, you were going on about like things you did, like was it in May?
Oh yeah, in May. Yes. So that was my
Yeah.
summer. So my summer was just not working, just, you know, doing the podcast, having more time for me, having more one-on-one with God, because how we were mentioning, like, since you don't have that, you also have to learn how to discipline yourself of
Yeah.
like, you know, not just scrolling on your phone. Because I remember the first 2 weeks I was like, I've been working, you know, for X amount of years. I just want to sleep and I just want to be a couch potato and not do anything. But then after that, you kind of have to discipline yourself of like, okay, what are you doing with your relationship with the Lord? Are you connecting with him? Are you reading your word? Are you still fasting and trying to be productive? I feel like that's really hard whenever you don't have a job. It's like really hard to like discipline yourself and still staying connected, because it's so easy to just get distracted. It's so easy to like sleep late, wake up late, be on your phone, and you have to, and then doing that all over again the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was just it was a bit of a tough season. I mean, now that I'm working, I kind of miss it. And it's funny because whenever I wasn't working, I was already missing going to work. So I guess the grass is never greener on the other side, you know?
We literally were never satisfied. Because
Yes.
I feel like, because when I didn't have a job, I was like in this dump mindset, you know? And then
Mm-hmm.
now that I have a job, I'm like, I'm so busy all the time. Like, I
Yes.
just
Yeah.
want to like not do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like this year was so busy. So many things happened for me that I feel like that's why I just don't remember everything, because I was on
Right.
the go so much, like
Yeah.
kids
Mm-hmm.
ministry, youth ministry, leadership, all of these things, that,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, having a job and everything, it was just a lot
Yeah.
that I'm
No,
like,
yeah.
thank God it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true because I feel like I mean, after before May, I was pretty busy with my job and, church and personal life and whatnot. And then I stopped working, so I was able to have more time for the podcast, for my church and whatnot. But then I moved here, and I didn't get a job until probably a month or a little bit over a month. I got it in October. So yeah, it was 2 months of not working here in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty good. It was pretty good being able to, just kind of like settle in and whatnot. But then my mom, she was like, yeah, it's time. You need to start applying. And so thank God that I got my job now and I'm working and whatnot. But I kind of want to transition. I feel like we are at a good stopping point. I mean, I don't know if you have anything else for 2025. I guess one last thing. My last memory, because like July, June and July, I don't think nothing really happened, and then August is whenever we had camp. So I would say that
Mm.
would be so that well for me that was my last NTD district event. So I was
Mm.
able to kind of like observe it. It was a lot. If I'm being honest, I don't know if you remember Crystal, because me and her we served in the same cabin for
Yeah.
being cabin leaders. So if I'm being honest, it was a little bit of a lot, but at the end of the day, you leave so blessed and like you just kind of like after everything and being on the other side, you just feel so blessed of being part of it, that you were able to serve and that you did all that you could, you know what I mean, to help out and serve. So for me, like I kind of cherish it because that was my last NTD district event
Mm-hmm.
before moving to
Yeah.
Tennessee. But yeah, so I wanted to end it off with that. But now I want to transition us to what are we doing to prepare for this new year? Like, like, how do you like align yourself with the Lord? How are you planning to execute your goals? Do you have any tips and tricks to, keep on going and kind of like going from there? Like, is there something that you can tell us, maybe that a goal from last year that you were able to accomplish?
I feel like just being intentional with
Yeah.
God,
Mm-hmm.
um I will always lead us back to the word of God and prayer, but just being intentional, because it's so easy to settle. We just had a Bible study with the girls, and it was, the title was Don't Let the Oil Stop Flowing. And it
Mm-hmm.
was about like the story of the widow who had only one bottle of oil in her house, and that God told her, like, get vessels and fill them,
Yeah.
until there's no more. And so that's what it was about. But what the Bible study was about was that the oil stopped flowing the moment that there was no more vessels. So she got complacent, she got to a
Mm-hmm.
point where um she, like, there was no more vessels, so the oil ceased. And then he's like, we cannot get content where we are right now, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, wow, like, we can't settle for where we are right now. We need to always strive for more,
Mm-hmm.
and then it connected in the way, like, with our Bible study. Like, the Bible study said that the empty vessels represents empty souls.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is just, I want my Bible study to grow. I want
Mm-hmm.
us to be bold and to go out there and spread the word of God, and always strive for more, you know, because it's so easy that like if you get to a place where you're content, then you don't have any motivation to keep going because you're like, oh, I'm already good. Like, I don't need to do anything else, you know? And
Yeah.
then something that's been coming up in my mind is like, how far are you willing to go? You know, for God, for your life in Christ. You know, how far are you really willing to sacrifice and get, how close are you willing to get to God? You know, because we're only as close to God as we want to be. And yeah, just like striving for more, I guess, and
Yeah.
being intentional with
Yeah.
my relationship with God.
Yeah. No, that's really good because I feel like if you're intentional, then you're going to have like something to always like rely on and keep you accountable. Because like for me, the way that I'm kind of like I did this last year, but I feel like also being intentional and also being like realistic because so what I do a prayer board. So I like to kind of like, I feel like a good way is to kind of like organize your thoughts. But I would say step one is go into prayer, you know, give this year to the Lord, ask him to give you any revelations, and then, you know, telling him that you want his will to be your will. And then, you know, start off with the prayer board. I feel like a prayer board can help you organize your thoughts, your goals, and then just like you said, like it helps you see to for you to see it physically and to kind of like go back. So whenever you kind of like forget, you can just kind of like go back like, oh yeah, you know, this is what I wanted. So I already did mine. I did mine through Canva, and I was able to kind of like categorize it with like spiritual, career, personal goals, physical, and all that, you know. So I feel like it kind of like, and then obviously like praying over it as well can also like help out. But I would say you know, just like, yeah, being like intentional and always putting like realistic goals as well. Like, you don't have to put like these big, massive things, just like things that you know that you're also able to like execute. And just putting and just asking for the Lord to like help you out, and don't depend on motivation, depend on discipline. You know, I would say being organized, you know, just having like a journal, having like a calendar, an agenda, putting yourself like, how are you going to get there, telling God to help you to get there. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what kind of like helped me last year, because I was able to fulfill some of those goals. And
Yeah.
but I would just say like, God, you know, just having that willing heart and allowing him to like guide you towards that. But another thing that I kind of wanted to point is that some, like my pastor was saying like, oh, you know, that typical meme that we all know, like, oh, I already messed up, but 2027 is my year. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if you have seen that. So, but I feel like we shouldn't wait for a new year to make a change. Like a new opportunity is every single day. So today
Yeah.
was a new opportunity. When you wake up tomorrow, it's a whole new opportunity. Even if it's in the middle of March, in the middle of May, in the August, September, whatever the month is, that could be a new day, a new change for you to do. Like, don't feel like, oh, I already messed up in the first, I'm just gonna forget about it and gonna try next year. Like, no, like you still have tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, don't be
Yeah.
so hard on yourself. Don't think that you have to wait. Like just know that you're always able to pick up at any time and at any day, you know. But it's just, you know, just try to find strategies, try to go like that extra mile. If analyze like, oh, what did I do so I won't do that thing again, and just kind of like going from there.
Yeah. I really like the prayer board thing. Last year I made a vision board for the first time ever, and almost everything on the vision board came true. And
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to like lay out, you know, your goals like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're going to do that this year too. We have a vision board night with the youth on this Friday. Well, yeah. Well, this will come out This will come out the day before the vision board. But I'm excited. I'm excited to like write everything down. I feel like my brain is still like processing that we're in a new year, that I haven't really gotten there yet. That's something
Mm-hmm.
that I've learned. Like I don't overwhelm myself
Mm-hmm.
with what's going to come anymore. I just kind of like take it one step at a time. So I haven't
Mm-hmm.
really thought about like everything I want to accomplish this year. I'll just think about it when I'm sitting in front of my vision board, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like when there's so many things, and especially this year, I went from a season of like nothing. Literally, like when I didn't have a job, I had nothing to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
went from a season of that to then a season of like so many things to do. And at first it was really hard. Like I would stress, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But this year I learned to take it step by step, like one thing
Mm-hmm.
at a time, you know, don't overwhelm yourself. And yeah, so I feel like I'm excited for this year. I'm ready, you know, but I just haven't really like thought of everything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
No,
that makes sense.
no, it makes sense because it reminds me that someone put online, like, because you know how the first was on a Thursday. And so for many people, they were like, for some reason, it feels like the first is going to be until Monday. Like, they're like, nah,
Yeah.
we're just going to wait until Monday, you know? So that it kind of reminds me of what you said whenever I saw that.
No, and then I was telling the girls, I was like, this whole like New Year's thing is so weird because we stay up till 12 to receive the new year, and then the next day nobody works. So we literally
Yeah.
wake up super late, and we
Yeah.
already started off the year like, you know? So I'm like, it's so weird.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Cuz literally what the last well the day after New Year's for me literally slept in and watched
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. Like that was
Yeah.
my first,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. That is so true. Like, we start off the day just being in bed instead of like starting our goals.
Being
You
a
know what I mean?
bum.
So, yeah. No, yeah, that's true.
And we low key set ourselves up for that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
was just telling the girls it's crazy.
And what did you do? Oh, yeah, you guys had a service.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. Um so this year usually we have like poppers and it's like this whole thing, you know, but this year as soon as the clock hit 12 we were singing a song, and it was just like wow, like I don't know, it just felt like so intentional that there was no poppers, but we received it like singing. We were
Mm-hmm.
praising God,
Mm-hmm.
literally
Mm-hmm.
praising God
Mm-hmm.
for another year, and it was so
Yeah.
special to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I definitely recommend it to everyone. Like, if you haven't, gone to a New Year's Eve service, I think it's so beautiful to be able to receive it with the Lord and like your congregation, but most of all with God, like just like you said, either if it's worship or if it's during the altar call, I think it's so beautiful, kind of like giving thanks to the Lord of whatever that year gave you, and then
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself in God's hands for this new year. So that's why I think New Year's Eve services, I think, are just perfect to be able to receive the word, because you're receiving it with God. You know what I mean? So every year, like, I love it. Every year I always kind of like think it's just like the perfect way to be able to receive it, and I'm always like looking forward to it. And so it was
Mm-hmm.
also pretty cool. I was able to help out to like decorate and do like the backdrops and whatnot at my church, and it was pretty cool being able to see like how they do it here, and and being able
Yeah.
to see it in a different perspective. So that was really cool too. And just like you said, like the next day I was just in PJs, just watching TV, just like waking up late, and then the next day I had to go to work. So that's why it's funny,
Same.
because like but didn't it feel like a Monday whenever you went?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's what
yeah.
yeah. That's what my coworkers were saying. They're like, today feels like the most Mondayest Monday, but yet it's a Friday. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was such a
yeah.
weird like
Yeah.
time for a new
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, literally. And then also like the weather. Like during Christmas in
Ugh.
Dallas, it was 80s. And then I'm just seeing right now that the time that we're recording, the coming week, it's going to be, at least here in Memphis, 60s.
Yeah.
So I'm
For
just
us
kind
it's
of
it's like dropping to like 50s, 40s. I'm looking at it right now.
oh, okay, okay.
30s.
Yeah.
But it's like okay, like I don't know. I like when it's cold for Christmas,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
makes it feel like wow, Christmas. But I feel like it was cold up until the week of Christmas, and then
Literally.
and
Yeah.
then it was like, "Oh, let's hit you with some 80 degrees."
And it was cool because like instead of packing jackets, I was just packing like spring dresses and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that was like, that was funny because I remember because also Shannon, her husband's from Houston, Texas, so she was driving to Texas, and we were talking about like, oh, how we're traveling to Texas for Christmas or the holidays, and then we were like, oh, I don't know why we're like, I forgot how the conversation started, but then I was like, for some reason it feels like we're going to a vacation that is going to be warm weather and stuff like that. And she was like, I know, right? Like in reality, we have to pack all of our jackets. And then we get to that week, and it was funny to me because I was like, we were here complaining that we couldn't take dresses, and the weather actually confined to what we wanted, which was a warm weather.
So that's why it was hot.
Yeah,
It was
sorry, it was us.
it was your fault. That's hilarious.
No, yeah, but but yeah, so if you guys haven't, doing that, you can do a prayer board. I think that would be
Yeah.
that would be a good way. But I'm also excited about our conversation with Margarito whenever we went to La La Land. So I think it's like it was relating to the podcast, and I feel like it was so intentional of our conversation, and like he literally
Yeah.
is our producer because he gave us like new ideas. He's always there to kind of like help us out and stuff like that. So I'm very excited for like these new ideas, and just like Crystal said, like because it's something that we've never done, it kind of feels like, oh, what like we don't know
What
what
do
to
I expect?
expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why, but I'm very excited because I know that conversation was intentional, and that means that the Lord has more things in store. And if he brought this up, it's because he's already like working some things behind the scene. And I'm very excited because we're going to be bringing some new things, so it's not just going to be, just like we will be having like our typical conversations and stuff like that, but at the same time we're going to be bringing new things here and there. So I'm very excited for you guys to see that. So but it's
Yeah.
going to be good. It's going to be good because I mean it's good that the Lord at the end of the day, he challenges us. I don't know if you notice,
Yeah.
like I feel like every season we're challenged, every
Oh,
season we're
trust.
kind of huh.
I notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, because it's true. Like it's so true how God has literally was like, okay, you guys are too comfortable, let me move something around.
Literally. And I was,
And
it's
so
funny because I was like, oh, I'm down. Like, I'm down. Like, never say no to the Lord,
yes, yeah,
But I have no idea how it's going to happen. But I was like, I'm
yeah,
down. I was like, I'm a little scared, but it's fine. We'll figure it
yeah.
out.
Me too. I'm just trying to like think in my head, like how are we gonna do it, how are we gonna do it, but
Yeah.
the way that we were a little scared of how we're doing it now, and look at us, we're executing
Yeah.
it, it's happening, you guys are seeing it. That's like my like what gives me peace, where I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
we were once
Like
like
God,
that for season 4.
yeah, God works everything out
Yeah,
all the time.
so yeah, so that's why I'm excited. So that's why I'm excited for you guys to see it, and I'm also excited to like see the podcast keep on evolving and just bringing new things. But
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
I'm excited for this year. I feel like God is going to open a lot of doors and continue to mold us and grow us in different ways, and I'm just excited. I'm excited. I've seen how he's already shaping and molding my mind and my understanding, and it's hard. It's really hard to like he revealed stuff to me and things that are going on in my life, that I wasn't even aware of, but he shined light to them. So I'm excited, but I know it's hard, and it's gonna be hard, you know, but
Yeah.
God is with you through everything. God is gonna be with you through every transition this year. And just remember that as you navigate this year, remember that God is never gonna leave you. He's never left you, and he never will leave you. And just hold on to the hem of his garment and don't let go for anything. You know, be intentional with him, continue to seek him, read his word, and be in prayer, and just continue to keep moving forward. Like, going back is not an option. It's not an
Mm-hmm.
option.
Yeah. Amen. That was perfectly said. I think that's a good end note. I really like how you said that. I feel like you tied this episode in like a nice bow. And so, yeah, like I will continue, praying for you guys. Like I said, always reach out if you guys have any prayer requests. We're more than happy to be able to pray out. You guys can follow us on our social medias, audio only. We do have Spotify and Apple Podcast. And again, thank you so much for you guys for those who are still continuing to tune in. For any newcomers, we're so grateful. So I will talk to you later, Crystal. Bye.
All right, bye, girl.